What a performance by these Miami Dolphins.
Now the Patriots have to regroup. No bye week for them.
And that's what coming home looks like when you end up on top.
Well, and if the Titans win later today, the Titans will be the ones coming in here to play next weekend.
Let's take you to New York. Here's James Brown.
So we're going to take you now, those of you who are watching the New York Jets against the Buffalo Bills and Miami and New England, we're going to take you now to the LA Chargers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are now the 2 seed as a result of that New England loss. Let's join Kevin Harlan at that game.
Everything they've wanted to happen.
And welcome back to the NFL Today update delivered by Pizza Hut. And you see Patrick Mahomes in a winning locker room by the Kansas City Chiefs. They knocked off the LA Chargers, and they now have the first round bye because also Miami did them a favor by beating New England 27-24. And a reminder, the second half of our doubleheader coming up next. All matchups have playoff implications. Most will see the Titans win an end game against the Texans or the Steelers at the Ravens. Others will get the Raiders at the Broncos or the Colts taking on the Jaguars. That's right here on CBS. Full house here, and my guys are anxious to get to talking about the action. Let's go to the highlights
first. How about the New England Patriots? They win today, and they will be in the playoffs as a number 2 seed and get a bye. But you know what? Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Miami Dolphins had something to say about that. Here, Ryan Fitzpatrick on the day, 28 of 41, including that running touchdown, a passing touchdown, 320 yards, and Devontae Parker, 8 catches, 137. That's Mike Gesicki with late in the game. The Dolphins beat the New England Patriots 27-24.
Now that gives Kansas City the number 2 seed if they win. Well, it was a Damian Williams day. Look at these runs that he has had against the Chargers today. This one obviously goes down the sideline for an 84-yard touchdown, 24-14 Kansas City. How about this one right here? Not to be denied. He gets hit, does not go down, goes into the end zone. 31-21. Damian Williams on the day, 12 carries, 124 yards, and 2 TDs.
Here we are, the Jets up in Buffalo. Buffalo, they are playing for nothing. They're the 5th seed. Sam Darnold throws to Jamison Crowder, 2 yards for the touchdown. Jets win 13-6.
Well, you talk about putting an exclamation point on the season. How about Drew Brees and his buddies today? They roll into Carolina. They win 42-10 against the depleted Carolina Panthers team. Looks like they'll be looking for a new coach and obviously maybe even a new front office.
Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions. If Green Bay wins, they clinch a first-round bye. Aaron Rodgers, third quarter, dropping back. Who is he looking for? Devontae Adams, corner of the end zone. That's a touchdown. This game will go back and forth. And how about this? Aaron Rodgers, he's going to throw this up to Allen Lazard. That is a TD. It will be a tie score. Aaron Rodgers just threw an interception. Lions ball with less than 2 minutes left. Staying in the NFC North, Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings, David Montgomery. He takes the handoff, and he is going to boom, 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 boom. How about that from 14 yards out? Big, strong run, and Eddie De Niro Pinheiro, he wins the game. How about that? 21-19.
Okay, guys, let's take a look at the AFC playoff seeding situation right now. As we all know, the Ravens are number 1. Kansas City now is number 2. New England will have to play next week, wild card weekend, and, of course, Houston. You take a look at Buffalo right there. They are locked into the 5th seed. Tennessee, if they win, if they're in. Now, remember, Oakland is still alive at this moment, and a lot of things have to happen. They have to win in Denver, of course, and Tennessee and Pittsburgh both have to lose. And you can take a look at that. In the NFC, there is still a lot up in the air as to what's going on. We're still waiting on teams like Green Bay to get through Detroit. And, you know, what can I tell you? The Patriots basically just laid an egg. They laid an egg, and give a lot of credit to Brian Flores, give a lot of credit to Ryan Fitzpatrick. He had a tremendous year when you think about where that team was at the beginning of the year and where they finished. And how, you know, he kept them competitive all year long. Yes. And their defense came up with a couple really big plays. That I didn't think Tom Brady played all that well in the first half. The second half, they ran it a little bit better. But, you know, you let a team hang around. It's divisional weekend here on Week 17, and anything can happen.
You talk about laying an egg, and that bye has always been important to New England. If you take a look at the graphic here, because whenever Bill, elaborate on that.
Well, so, I mean, Bill Belichick, they've won their 6 Super Bowl wins, but they all came with a bye. And when they don't get a bye, you can see the record on this right there, 3-3. And again, because all of a sudden now you're going to go on the road, you're not going to get that week's rest. And I think when you look at the New England Patriots, we keep thinking that they are going to kind of find their groove. They've never really found that groove. And all of a sudden today, what you saw is a little bit of a meltdown on the defensive side. Devontae Parker ate up Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah. Sure did. And listen, they were trying to find their groove and trying to get it back like Stella, but they couldn't. Offensively, the wide receivers were trying to make plays for Tom Brady, but there's still that slight disconnect where they're not on the same page. And I saw in the beginning of the game that they were trying to get those guys going. The running game is there. I feel like they'll be good catching out of the backfield, screen plays. They can do that all day long, even traditionally handing the ball off. But still, that pass
we all know
game,
it's
it could be their demise.
We all know what's missing.
Gronk?
The tight end. Tight end has got no place in this offense right now. It's been such a big advantage for them when Gronk was playing. The one year they didn't have him, they still won the Super Bowl. But, you know, I would just tell you, he's an uncoverable guy. And it's unfortunate that they were unable to replace him this year.
And I'm going to go to Phil on this point. And again, I want to go back, Coach, because you said this early on in the season. The guys elaborated on it, that Miami has played extremely well. They started the season 0-7. They finished 5-4. Brian Flores had it in mind, and he kept in mind that week 2 spanking, Phil.
Absolutely. You know, very determined. The team has played tough for about the last 6-7 weeks, maybe more, but 43-0. It's not only that. It was against Bill Belichick, who he served under for 15 years. And Bill Belichick and the Patriots, they kept their starters in the whole game. You know, I don't blame them. That's you play. Just try to get sharp. But you said it right, Bill. What let the New England Patriots down today was their pass defense. Fitzpatrick threw the ball for over 300 yards against the New England secondary.
And Boomer has already elaborated on this. That is Kansas City having knocked off the L.A. Chargers 31-21. They took care of business to get that first round bye. And, of course, after the game, it was a jubilant Chiefs locker room with Boomer's adopted son, Patrick Mahomes.
Not today. Hey, nice job, baby. Great job. So this is what we're doing. We're going to give the Chiefs just one big one. Man, this is a great one. Fans are great today, huh? Yes, let's give them one. How about those? All right, baby. All right, so listen, real quick. Tomorrow, we'll go 11:30, right? We'll get together. We'll give you the schedule, all right, for tomorrow, for the rest of the week here. We got to buy, man.
That's the great thing about Week 17. You never know. And it couldn't happen to a better bunch of guys. I think everybody up here appreciates who Andy Reid is, what he's always been to this league, and how he just hasn't gotten to the Super Bowl. Well, he's got the quarterback now. He's got the defense, and he's got the speed, because that speed showed itself in so many different ways today, whether it be Tyreek Hill down the middle, Damian Williams down the sideline, Mecole Hardman returning the kickoff. No. I mean, so they have all the ingredients that you need to go all the way.
I mean, to me, it's that defense. When you think about what they've done, because it's always been an Achilles heel for them, but right now they got an offense. But Tyrann Mathieu, Terrell Suggs, Frank Clark, you know, Jones up front, and Noddy. I'm telling you, right now they have a great mix on the defensive side of youth, of an experience, and you need that going into the playoffs. I tell you what, they are in a good position. Right.
We talked about it early today in the show, but you know, you look at the numbers for Patrick Mahomes. They're not big. Once again, the Los Angeles Chargers kept them under 200 yards, 174 yards passing. That's what everybody's doing. They're daring Kansas City to run the ball, which they did today.
Yep, they did.
And that's what won the game for them. But they're daring Mahomes to throw it short, and they're not doing it well enough to really keep the other team honest.
Week 17, providing the excitement that we expected. And folks, coming up in the late window, Houston, Tennessee, and we know, Nate, how important this matchup will be.
Yeah, you're right about that. For the Titans, it's basically winning you're in. And this guy's playing for the Super Bowl, but also a super deal. He has rewrote the narrative on what his career is.
He didn't play last week. He's going to play this week. That's Derrick Henry. Expect a heavy dose of Derrick Henry. A lot of play-action passing. One of the things that Ryan Tannehill does so well. One of the reasons why they throw the ball down so far.
You know, he throws it too on the play-action pass, boom. It's A.J. Brown. This guy's become a deep threat for him. He's a perfect complement to a Derrick Henry in a running game. And right now, there's a chemistry exists between Tannehill and that man right there.
Yeah, and Logan Ryan back in there. Good cover guy on one side. They got to stop it today. We'll see what Houston, how they decide to play it. Might not be any Deshaun Watson in there. If he doesn't start, That sure makes it easier for Tennessee's defense.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he's going to play today. He looks good in his uniform, and I think that's the way that Bill O'Brien is going to want him. I think it's going to be A.J. McCarron for the Houston Texans, and there is A.J., and he'll get a start today. You know what? Good for him if he does. Go out and win the game.
Yeah, says
what Ryan Fitzpatrick did.
Yeah, signed as a free agent. You know, and DeAndre Hopkins, he's probably not going to play as well. When you look at these individuals that were banged up last week, it was Deshaun Watson limping around throughout that game. DeAndre Hopkins, he wasn't completely healthy. Will Fuller went down before halftime. Right. These guys need the rest if they want to make any type of run to Miami.
But don't make no mistake, they're going to get J.J. Watt back for the playoffs. And, you know, I don't know if he's going to be 100%, but that inspirational lift of having him on that field and playing a home game, I'm telling you, that's big for the Texans.
And these matchups are important in the late window. You heard Boomer talk about Oakland has a checklist. One of those 5 things have already been taken care of, Boomer. That is Chicago winning.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing out of this is number 2 on this list, and that's winning at Denver today. You know, Vic Fangio, much like Adam Gase and, you know, much like Matt Nagy, they want to win. There's Derek Carr running out of the field out there a mile high. But I'm just telling you, this is not going to be an easy game for Derek Carr and the Raiders.
Yeah, you're right. You know, for fans who think about all these different scenarios, when they hear mathematically in it, they're like, you know what, it's not that big of a deal. But for a player, for coaches, these guys are all locked in. They're watching the scoreboards. They're having an understanding of exactly what's going on. They're motivated right now.
If it's not on the scoreboard, I got somebody in my ear who's watching those scores right now. Tell me what's going on. So it's the real deal.
That's our guy, Brian, who does a good job. Go ahead.
Well, no, last thing, you know, we expected big upsets today. Maybe the upsets are not over yet.
Ooh. And the day continues, folks. Enjoy the games. We'll see you back at halftime.
Okay, Phil.